Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, from across all platforms to Menji Speaks Halloween. And welcome back to my Halloween music countdown series, where I'm counting down some of my favorite spooky time tunes because YouTube. But also because I feel like this gets far more overlooked than some other holidays music. You know who you are. If you're at all confused by this, go back to my first countdown video where I talk about my favorite World War II era music and explain it all, 'cause I'm not doing it here. Now, let's get on with it.
I can't believe that there's a nightmare on my street.
So, the modern era, which I basically consider anything from the 80s until now, which basically describes me, so I guess I consider myself modern? That's rather narcissistic of me, isn't it? Rock music was still riding high and morphing into various subgenres, but now the world begins to witness the rise of general pop music, as well as the new kid on the block. The new kids on the block. I mean rap. In this era, music is probably at its most experimental than it's ever been, with artists trying out all sorts of different styles, mixing them together, as well as some trying to breathe life into some of the older styles. And songs dealing with spooky, scary monsters and the like were no exception.
I can't believe that there's a nightmare on my street.
Speaking of 80s... Well, just about any Halloween aficionado worth their salt would absolutely have Oingo Boingo's Dead Man's Party in their mix. Most everyone else would probably unintentionally pass this one by. Despite their immense popularity throughout the 80s, once Oingo broke up, many people kind of forgot about their existence, and many of those young whippersnappers today have probably never heard of them to begin with. I mean, if you mention the name Danny Elfman to somebody today, most people will probably think, "Oh, that guy that did the Simpsons theme?" Oh, and I guess he worked on some films as well. But if Halloween dance party music is what you crave, then Dead Man's Party is the Brondo for you. And your plant.
It's a dead man's party. Who could ask for more? Everybody's coming. Leave your body at the door. Leave your body and soul at the door.
And yes, I know more people would probably pick Weird Science over this one, but come on, it's called Dead Man's Party. Everything about this song, from that kick-ass guitar riff to those sweet, sweet tight horns, is perfectly stitched together to get you moving.
Run away from me. Don't be afraid of what you can't see.
And that gradual increase in energy is so unnoticeable that it's almost like a siren song slowly calling you out to the dance floor. And before you know it, you're doing a crazy 80s dance and have no idea how you got there. Nor do you care anymore.
I can't believe that there's a nightmare on my street. Here lies Charlie. You can tell it's him because we put his name on the stone.
By far, probably the most unique song on these lists yet, Charlie's Inferno by That Handsome Devil brings us a very interesting cautionary tale. I think. An incredibly upbeat song that Oddly enough, sounds like it would work well as background music for It's Always Sunny, that's juxtaposed against a grim tale of the titular Charlie, a man who spent his entire life dedicated to ticking all the right moral boxes so as to avoid a fiery fate, only to find out that after an unexpected car crash, despite his best efforts, alas, Charlie is not on heaven's guest list.
Was an angel at the entrance, checking off a guest list. Charlie wasn't on it and was ushered to the exits. His heart sank, he was breathless.
And so, there's only one other place to go.
Abandon all hope, all ye who enter. It was a horrifying sight, but sounded like an intervention.
Charlie's journey is brilliantly described in great, breathy, and probably half-drunk detail that only that handsome devil's lead singer, God forbid, can deliver. I'm not making an exclamation. His name is actually God forbid. I'm not trying to say that... You know what? Never mind.
Attention whores and padded roars, hanging from extension cords, tortured with the products from the favorite catalog.
I don't think you could have as much fun experiencing someone's descent into the depths of Hades than you would listening to this song. Unless you're maybe watching Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. Such an underrated sequel. Be sure to add this peppy description of damnation to your list.
There must be someone you've confused before. If I could see someone who knew me or someone in uniform, I really don't belong here. I know you've heard the tune before. I can't believe that there's a nightmare on my street.
Quite honestly, you could fill up your entire party playlist with the Nekromantix discography if you really wanted to. But let's face it, that's cheating. While just about every song they do would be theme appropriate, Trick or Treat is probably the most on-the-nose song. The Nekromantix are one of the top bands in a small sub-genre of rockabilly that takes the energy of psychobilly and mixes it with a good dose of classic monster movies. This song is basically Kim Necroman singing about setting up his Halloween party and how much he loves it right down to its most ridiculousness.
Smiling pumpkins, fake vampire fangs, and paper bags, tacky spiders, rubber skulls, and plastic silver rats.
And that just makes me adore this song even more. The fact that he can find joy in even the most bargain bin-like items, such as plastic sewer rats and tacky spiders, makes the song so relatable if you're a Halloween fanatic. While many of their songs are a lot more high energy, leaning more on the psycho side of psychobilly, that may just be a bit much for some of your party guests, but this song falls in a perfect groove zone. If you ever get a chance to see these guys live, I highly recommend it. And yes, in case you've heard the rumors, he does play with a coffin bass, and it's awesome. Happy Halloween indeed. These lists need more skeletons. Can I get more skeletons, please?
Behind a curtain of towering pines, the sun settling red. A city hidden high in the hills comes out to honor the dead.
You thought I was gonna play something else, didn't you? Skeletons on Parade by Ludo is probably my favorite modern skeleton song. Stop it. That's already on the internet enough. This is probably one of the most complicated songs on any of these lists. It starts off with a very somber tone, describing a far-off town getting ready for something that sounds akin to Dia de los Muertos.
Families somberly walk through the town. They build altars and pray. Clean the tombs and clutch rosaries and speak of better days.
It all of a sudden gets very jazzy and loungy. As the story unfolds into an apocalyptic rising of the dead. All the while, the song itself is evolving into what can only be described as a pirate march, as the skeletons evolve into an all-out cadaver party.
What a lovely, lovely night for a drink and a parade.
It then goes all-out metal, as it should, as the pirate march becomes pirate rock?
Rattle your bones, rattle your bones.
Not quite like that.
The devil is happy to say, heaven is having a hell of a time. Skeletons on parade.
And then, much in the same way the morning sun disperses the evil, the song suddenly fades off into the distance, taking any evidence of the undead jamboree with it. Take off your skin and jump on in, 'cause this song is coming for you.
Good night, all my children. Now you must lay down your heads. You wouldn't want
I can't believe that there's a nightmare on my street.
Are you ready? Yeah. I got a brand new dance here for you. This one is called the Zombie.
Now, just wait a darn tootin' minute there, Menji. I thought I heard you say this was the modern list.
I hear you say. Oh, my dear friends, I haven't pulled a fast one on you. Despite its awesome, old-timey blues sound, The Zombie by C.W. Stone King was actually released in 2014. Get this, C.W. Stone King is a blues guitarist who does his best to make his music sound like it was recorded in the 1920s. From Australia.
When you hear that zombie rockin' slow till the break of dawn in the Congo, ain't gonna lay to rest till the morning light, gonna raise some sand in the dead.
If you dig this, you will love everything else he's put out. The Zombie is one of his darker themed songs, and it actually deals with the topic of zombies, unlike some other songs I know. The song has a slight Caribbean tinge to it, which I find appropriate if you enjoy the more mystical history of zombies, with a dark, spooky bass line accompanied by a couple of childlike backup singers. And if there's one thing that can give me the heebie-jeebies, it's singing children.
Dead of night. My mama hear them mumbling low. They go shuffling across the floor.
There's also a great video for The Zombie that looks like it was animated with charcoal on newsprint, which, despite the very simplistic drawings, adds to the overall creepiness of the song.
I grown so afraid of the man in the street, with a finger on the pulse, look dead on his feet, where you said, all I want to do is eat and eat.
Make sure to take a bite out of this one and...
Watch out!
'cause you'll definitely have bodies shuffling all around. Thanks for watching. Links to all songs I've talked about can be found below. And if I've piqued your curiosity even a little, why not come down to Halloween Town on plug.dj, a social music site where you can hang out with other Halloween music enthusiasts, DJ music for each other, and maybe even make some cool new friends, all while listening to a whole lot more great Halloween time music. Halloween Town has been operating every October, all month long for over 5 years now. So come check it out, if you dare. Links in the description. That was just corny. I'm sorry.